questions?
Better today?
Good.
Well, you know, I think we had a very productive bye week. Got a chance to work on a lot of things, a lot of repetitions for a lot of players to improve. But now it's time to sort of refocus on the task at hand. The players have had a few days off, and I think the goal is for us to play our best football of the year. And you know, to do that, each individual on the team, you know, needs to play, you know, their best. So that obviously starts with preparation, and you know, we're going to start our preparation for this game today. From an injury standpoint, you know, I think Eddie Jackson is okay. He did practice some last week. I think he'll be okay to practice today. Ronnie and Dominic will both start back in individual drills. Will be evaluated and see how they do in practice today and how much they can do. And we'll have to evaluate that more on a day-to-day basis. You know, this is you know, we've had some great games with LSU through the years. This has turned out to be a great rivalry, and I think it's a great rivalry because of the quality of the programs. You know, I think 6 or 7 times in the last, since we've been here, you know, both teams are ranked in the top 10. You know, that's obviously a credit to the great job Les Miles has done there in 11 years that he's been there, and to their players and the way they compete and the quality of players that they have, and the great job of coaching, you know, that they do. So you know, they return a lot of 16 starters, a lot of experienced players. You know, they've been very, very productive on offense. I think Leonard Fournette is probably, in my opinion, I haven't seen all the players, but he's as dominant as any player in the country in terms of the way he plays and what he's capable of doing as a running back, both running the football and as a receiver. And you know, quarterback Brandon Harris has certainly done a really good job of taking care of the football, making big plays when he needs to. He's a dual threat. He can run. They've got really good receivers. Their offensive line is probably the biggest, most physical that we've seen all year long. So this is a really, really good offensive team. They rush for over 300 yards a game, and they've been able to make explosive plays in the passing game that have led to a lot of points. You know, defensively, you know, they're still ranked in the top 20 in almost every category, you know, in the country. Difficult to run against. Very good secondary, very good linebackers. You know, we have a really good pass rusher in Lewis Neal, who has lots of hurries, lots of sacks, one of the top guys in the SEC. Always really good on special teams. They've got a lot of team speed. They've got very good specialists. So, you know, all around, you know, this is a very, very good football team, and no doubt deserve every bit of the ranking that they have, and probably one of the best teams in the country.
Okay. We'll start back with Cecil.
Hey, Coach, just to follow up, obviously you recruited Leonard Fournette, everybody recruited Leonard Fournette. What were your interactions with him like? How did you evaluate him in high school?
Well, we thought he was a fabulous player in high school, the #1 running back in the country. And I think, you know, bigger than that, you know, my opinion of him is he was a really, really fine young man, great family, you know, and it's no surprise to me that the guy has developed into, you know, one of the premier players in the country and arguably the best running back in the country. So, his competitive character, you know, certainly shows, you know, on the field in terms of the way he plays and the way he competes, and can't have nothing but admiration and respect for the guy in terms of what he's accomplished, what he's done, and the kind of player that he is.
The left side with Matt.
I think I know you're almost a decade into this rivalry, just from this end, being in Alabama, but how much different is the feel even now, almost a decade later, leading up to this game, being a part of this game, and just from people you've come in contact with during the course of the season, how early did people start saying stuff to you, looking ahead to this game?
Well, you know, I don't pay any attention to what people say, and, you know, I haven't, you know, we take our games one game at a time and try to do the best we can for our players. And look, this game is about our players and our team and our program. It has nothing to do with me in terms of any past experience that I've had. And my goal is to do the best job that we can as coaches and coaching staff in preparing our players to play the best that they can all season long. So, you know, that's really what it's all about for me, because, you know, every player on this team has worked very, very hard to put themselves in a position where they have an opportunity to play, you know, against a great team, and the game has a tremendous amount of significance for all the things that they've worked for all year long. So that's much bigger than anything else that could be considered in this game.
Front right with Mark.
You touched on Brandon Harris a little bit, which is how have you seen him grow from last year, and how has he developed into a better passer?
Well, you know, he was the backup quarterback last year. You know, won the job, you know, this year, and has played really, really well. I mean, the guy has not played like a first-year quarterback at all. He's executed very well. He's taken care of the ball. He hasn't thrown any interceptions. Made a lot of big plays. Can scramble, can keep plays alive, keep his eyes downfield, and make plays as well as run it. So, you know, he is. I can't really compare to last year because we didn't see him play all that much, but this year he's certainly developed into an outstanding player for them, especially in terms of executing what they do extremely well.
Front right with Ken.
I'm a little off topic, but this weekend, another crazy finish, Miami and Duke, Michigan State, crazy, FSU, Georgia Tech. Wondering if you react to that at all, and then can you teach off of those moments, you know, to where they don't happen to you, I guess?
You know, your goal as a coach is to sort of prepare your team for every scenario, every situation that could ever happen in a game. And I think that, you know, these crazy finish games like you've mentioned all had sort of a scenario at the end of the game that, you know, was obviously the critical factor that made the difference in the game. And I think that anytime you see this happen, sometimes it happens in the NFL, you always bring it to your players' attention about how important this play is, you know, how important it is to finish or do it correctly, or, you know, be smart about what you do with the ball in a certain situation in the game. So there are opportunities to teach from these things, and, you know, you got to be able to finish and make sure you're prepared for every situation and scenario that can come up.
Back on the right with Aaron.
Because these teams are so similar, they want to dominate the line of scrimmage, play physical. Do you think both teams maybe play a little more conservative in this game, waiting maybe for the other team to make a mistake?
That's not ever been our approach in terms of how we try to play the game. You know, we want to take what they give us and hopefully be able to, you know, control the ball well enough, and, you know, never have really ever gone into this game being conservative. And as I think through the years, you know, whether it's a 4th and 1 reverse or, you know, fake field goal or whatever, I punter running with the ball in a punting situation, I don't see anybody being conservative in this game in terms of, you know, the way we played. I think the style of play, because of the way they play, it's their style. It's what they do, and they do it very, very well. And, you know, we need to do what we do very well, and I don't think being conservative is really going to help you win a game like this.
Back over here to Michael.
A lot of the attention's on the running backs and the running games this week, but how much has LSU's their game plan, how much has that evolved over this season?
Well, they've made a lot of explosive plays in the passing game, and I think they're taking advantage of what people are trying to do to stop the run, whether it's play 8-man fronts and have to play, you know, middle of the field close coverage where you got single coverage outside, and they've been able to take advantage of that and make some big plays. And I think the key to the drill is you got to be able to stop the run, but you can't give them big plays. If they make big plays, that's when they score lots of points. And I think when you got a good defensive and special teams group like they have, you know, it's hard to make that up. So, you know, everybody's got to be very disciplined in doing their job and playing a team like this.
The front with Dwayne.
Coach, all the things that Coker has gone through this year as far as playing and having to have late drives and things of that sort, how much do you think those things have prepared him for a game like this?
Well, you know, I think all the experiences that he's had, you know, our experience is that obviously knowledge and experience is always going to make you better. It's going to make you more confident. You know how to prepare, better. You have more poise when you're playing. So I think all those things are important. Jake hadn't played that much before this season, and he's developed nicely and certainly put together a great drive at the end of the Tennessee game. And I think all those things not only help his confidence, but the confidence of the players around him that he can make plays.
Back to the left with John.
We've got quite a few talented players at the state of Louisiana over the years. What's been the key to success there?
Well, first of all, Louisiana's got outstanding high school football and a lot of really, really good football players, and we've been fortunate to get a few. LSU sort of dominates their state, but every now and again there's a guy that's looking for some different opportunity, someplace else, and we've been able to take advantage of that in a couple situations, and those guys have certainly done well for us, and it's been an important part of our program.
Okay, a couple more. We'll start with Alex right here.
This game traditionally, last several years, have come down to almost the last drive situation. How much does the success against Tennessee coming back, and then the way you fought back against Ole Miss, give you confidence going into a game like this?
Well, I think, as I said before, you got to be prepared for every situation in the game. Whether we have to go 2 minutes at the end of the game to have a chance to win, or whether we have to stop them. Those are things that you try to prepare for the best that you can each and every week, because we don't take for granted any game that we play that may not come down to a situation like that. But I think because we have some experience, that's always helpful to the players in situations like that.
Two more. The back to the left.
Nick, you talked about the way that Leonard Fournette's played this year, but what have you seen from Derrick Henry on your side of the ball and kind of assess the way that he's played this season?
Well, Derrick's done an outstanding job for us. He's had a fantastic year, and I don't think you can say enough about the way he's played. And he's shown great competitive character. He's been very productive, not only in the way he's carried the ball, but in pass protection, things that he's done without the ball. So we couldn't be any more pleased with the way Derrick Henry has played. We want to try to eliminate some negative plays that we've had offensively, but that doesn't come because of Derrick Henry. It comes because of the focus and execution on a consistent basis that we've had as a group, and hopefully we can eliminate some of those things.
A couple more popped up late. We'll start with Joe.
Hey, Coach. In a game like this, how do you walk the line between coaching of the emotion of the moment, the emotion of the game, and making sure that the guys aren't so excitable that they don't execute, especially early on?
Well, I think in games like this, you have to focus on, not worrying about the outcome of the game so much, but more what you have to do to win your box or, dominate the guy that you're playing against, is the way, a lot of coaches might say it. But, and sort of assume that the guy you're playing against may be the very best player you played against all year long. And that's the way you have to prepare for it, and that's the way you have to focus in the game. And when you play games like this, you don't really ever dominate the other guy because of his quality, but you have to be able to focus on the next play so that you can be more consistent in the way you perform and win, over the long haul. And that's what we try to get our players to do, so that they can stay focused on what they need to do on the field, because that will ultimately determine the outcome of the game.
Back here with Cecil again.
Thanks, Coach. Just for a moment, you've had the opportunity in your career to coach against Frank Beamer, and who's announcing his retirement today. So just your thoughts on Coach Beamer's career and your interaction.
Well, Frank Beamer has been, one of the icons in my mind, in this era as a coach. Has a fantastic record at Virginia Tech, has been there for a long, long time. One of the great guys in our profession, as well. I've always admired him as a coach, but also as the kind of professional character that he always carries himself with, the way he treats other people. And I think their program has been, one of the stellar programs through the years. And It's because of the great job that he's done there for a long time with the leadership that he's provided. So I think he's definitely one of the great coaches of this era.
And last one here with Aaron.
You made the decision to put more athletes at safety this year. I wonder, depending on down and distance, do you maybe put Ronnie in to get more size in the box?
You know, we don't even know for sure what Ronnie's going to be able to do today. So, you know, there's other factors that determine who we put in the game. But, you know, we'll put the best people on the field in every situation to try to, you know, give ourselves the best chance to be successful. And if we think subbing personnel is something that will help us do that, we'll certainly put those guys in that situation.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.